Welcome back, Jules and Gems, to my channel. If you guys are not familiar with this area, you guys may start getting familiar with this area because this is technically this is my office. Normally you guys see me at my desk that's over here, but I didn't want to film from that angle today because I do a lot of videos from that angle. So yeah, we're gonna do something different. So as you guys have read by the title, you guys already know what we're talking about, and let's just jump right into it. So the title of this video is how to save over 40K in less than a year. So I made some notes because I wanted to plan what I was gonna say and not be like you know what I'm saying, trying to remember everything. So we're just gonna go based off of what my notes are. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that I mentioned on this video, please do not be afraid to go ahead and drop it below in the comment section. Now, if I do talk a little funny to you, or it's like some slurring or stuff like that, it's because my mouth does get caught on my braces, and these braces are fairly new, so I am still learning how to talk with them. So yes, step 1, plan out your progress / plan out the process that you will be using. Okay, so let's talk about that just a little bit. So first, what you want to do, I love me a good little journal. Baby. I got more. I just ain't finna get up and get them. But I love me a cute little something from the dollar store, something from the Dollar Tree, something from somewhere where I can just jot down notes about different things in different journals. So if you're like that and you want to talk about your process in your journal or plan out your progress in the journal, perfect. That's perfectly fine. Don't get something expensive, because guess what? We're trying to save money. So get you a $1, $2 little cute journal. If you a fancy girl, go ahead and get a $5 one. But you know, nothing over $5. It ain't that deep, love. You'll end up filling this up sooner or later. So first, when you're planning out your process, this is what you should include in the steps. Step 1, what planning method will you be using to monitor how you're saving? So for instance, say you want to do electronic app that monitors all your savings, or you want to use you want to make a note in your phone and draw out a little savings chart, or say you're going to go ahead and just use a banking app that has that tells you how much you save, or whatever method you're deciding from the beginning. Make sure you put that in that notebook. And then from there, after that, you also need to jot down what will you be doing to save the money. So not necessarily saying, oh, I'll be going to work. Oh, I'll be stripping. Oh, I'll be, a bank teller. No. What are you going to be doing? I'm going to be putting away XYZ bi-weekly, weekly, monthly. That's what you need to start telling yourself. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jot down, okay, we'll be saving on a weekly basis. We'll be saving, we as in you, yourself, we'll be saving on a monthly basis. We'll be saving on a bi-weekly basis. That's how you need to, so you know what schedule to keep yourself on. Okay, third, in this notebook, you need to set an amount that you are going to put away faithfully. Not I think I can kind of put away this, and then when it's time to actually put it away, you don't want to do it. Don't try to be extravagant and then you can't live up to it. So if you got to start out simple, like I did when I first started to actually save money, my standard when I actually, not this goal in general, but when I actually started saving money all together, I kind of don't like the way my face looks in this. When I kind of started saving money in general, $50 is what I promised myself. I said every paycheck I'll put away, and eventually when I got a better job and got better at saving, it moved to $100. And then it moved to, we're gonna put at least $200. Then it moved to, I'm gonna put away at least $3 or $4. Then it just, you know what I'm saying? So it just depends on you. You don't have to start huge, and your goal don't have to be 30,000, because that was not originally my goal. So now
as I'm looking back into the video, I kind of like forgot to get to the point about like how my first year, my goal was only $10,000 in my savings account. So just remember that as I'm talking. Sorry, guys.
We got you mapping out your progress and your process. The next thing you need to do is map out your bills. Don't sit here and overcompensate because you're trying to meet, you know, oh, Shay saved this much, so I gotta, oh, this girl did this, or this guy did this, or this couple saved this much. Don't worry about us. Don't worry about whoever did what and whenever what happened. Worry about you, your life, your bills. Okay, so this is how it's gonna go. Get you one of these handy dandy calendar. You get it from Walmart. I had this since literally college because my mama bought it for me in my dorm so I can map out my classes, my schedule, and when I have midterms and stuff every month. So right now it's a month behind because it says September. I forgot to change it. Sometimes I do forget to change it, but the bills don't change on what dates. So I just be like, oh, what day is it? The 11th. I don't have no bills due today. So the reason you want to map out your bills because it's going to help you know when to be able to obsessively save, your peak saving times. So say you get paid, like I even put my paychecks on here so I know when I'm gonna get a paycheck. So for instance, say you get paid on this Friday the 10th, whatever, that you notice, oh, this whole week you didn't have any bills, or say for instance, let's say it like this. This next week, let's just change the scenario. Say you got paid here on this 3rd of September, and you see the next week you have no bills. Nothing's due, nothing. So now you know on this paycheck, you can put away more because there's not as much coming out of your account that following week, and you got another paycheck coming, unless you're a weekly person, then that's different. But that's even better, you know. But say now on your second check that's coming for the month, on this 17th of September, you already had a few bills before then, bills due of that date, and bills due after that for a little while, like me. The first month of the first week and the third week of every month is where all my bills kick my ass. Every single one. I know on the first week of the month and the third week of the month, I gotta make sure I got money ready and locked and loaded because auto pay is finna start eating my bank account up. Okay, I'm finna see a lot of red for a couple days. So I know that, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I know when I can save more money. I know how to plan out certain bills and stuff like that and putting away a certain amount in my savings account, my checking account, so that I never have to worry about, you know, getting a notification that, oh, we tried to process this payment, it didn't go through, this and the third, which it won't happen anyways because I've learned how to save so that I'm always okay. Next thing, sorry if I'm talking fast. I do talk kind of fast. So you don't want a whiteboard? It's okay. You can get you like a little calendar on your phone. I know for Apple and Samsung, I think y'all got like the regular like calendar that look like this. So just like an Apple, if you're one of those people like me, even though I have this board, I put everything in my phone calendar with the reminder. So say for instance, you don't want to go out and buy that board because you don't want everybody in your house knowing when exactly every single bill is due and pocket watching you. Get you a cute little calendar on your phone or an app on your phone it's like a bill reminder, and it says, hey, in 2 days this is due. Hey, in a day you get paid, or something that's gonna let you always be on top of the game so you don't accidentally forget when something's due. Okay. Or you can get a journal and just make a map. I mean, it's really up to you. So like I said, I covered it. You know, you gotta map out your bills, find your peak weeks so you can save the most amount of money on those weeks. Okay. Talked about that. All right, here we go. Let's get into the savings aspect of it. You need to make a goal to start with. Okay, so let's just kind of like get into what I mean by that. Don't go straight for 20,000. Don't go, if you don't already got 10,000 in your account, don't go straight for $20,000. Don't go straight for $50,000. Don't even go straight for $5,000 if you don't have $2,000 in your account. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. My goal when I finally snapped out of spend as soon as I get money, because I used to make a lot of money when I first started dancing. I touched so much money, but my mind was on that, oh, I'll make it right back. So I would spend it as soon as I got it. So, you know, I could have, I fucked myself up, child. But now that I know better, I do better. So when I finally said, okay, no, girl, you need to really start saving your money. My first goal wasn't for my savings. It was for my checkings. Because I could never keep over $100 like consistently. And I always was like, why? But I figured out it was me, because I still was stuck in that mindset of you'll get it right back. So I would spend until my bank account hit $100 and I would be looking crazy. So my first goal was for my checkings account to get over $1,000. So I made me a board. I put the little, you know how like jobs have fundraisers and they have a little thermometer with a little big circle at the bottom and it goes up and it's like little things next to it. I started doing that. So I'm gonna make sure my checkings at least has $1,000 and always has $1,000 until my next paycheck. Don't let your account go under. That was the goal. Once I was able to actually maintain my checkings account, I moved towards my savings account. I said, okay, now what are we gonna start with? The goal is gonna be now also, let's get $1,000 in your savings account. That's how I started off. Let's go ahead and get $1,000 in the checking, because that's where the bills are gonna be coming from. Now that I have consistently $1,000 in here every single week and I don't let that go under $1,000 ever, let's go ahead and get $1,000 in the savings. So when I did the big circle, it wasn't 0, 1,000. No, it was 0, 200, 250, 3, 400. And then once you get closer, you can go ahead and chop it down. So you can go from 500 to the next goal number being 750. From 750, 850. Then from 850, 1,000. That's how you can map it out. So you can get more rigorous the closer you get to your goal. So you get what I'm saying? So then once you're trying to like actually say you're starting from literally 0, that should be your number one goal, is to have and retain. The key is to retain that $1,000. Then we move on from 1,000. Now you can make your goal whatever you see fit. For me, I have individual goals within my goal where I could pat myself on the back. So once I got to 500, I was elated because I knew I was doing it. I was halfway there. I was being consistent and I was serious about it. So those little small goals inside of the thermometer, those are the goals that you have to still pat yourself on the back for. Once you get that,
the reason for the small goals and the big goals is to keep you determined and also keep you motivated. A lot of times, if we're shooting just for the big goal, we can get discouraged. So those small goals will keep you happy and motivated.
100, don't be like, yeah, we did it, you know. No, like, we doing this, like, good job. Okay, the next little line, that should be the next small goal that you have within your big goal. You know, that's gonna like keep you motivated. Okay, so that's how you should set your goals. So start with something realistic. I personally, once I hit my 1,000, moved straight to a big goal because I had my foot on the gas basically. So from 1,000, I think it was like mentally, it was like 5,000, but that was not what my thermometer was. My thermometer went from 1,000 to 10,000. And I'll tell you why I went so head first, because that's like gonna get talked about in a minute. But yeah, so you just choose and pick and choose, and you know, give yourself enough time to actually reach these goals. Don't be like, oh, it's April, by June I should have $10,000 in my bank account. That is fucking unrealistic unless you have like that much surplus money coming in. Like, I don't think you should do that. And then also, let's go ahead and talk about after you make the small goals and the big goals You need to get multiple incomes if you don't already have multiple incomes. And I do seriously mean like legit incomes. I'm not saying go out and start robbing people or start selling drugs or nothing like that. I mean like get you some type of income, well, that can be consistent even if the money isn't consistent. Like you'll know you'll at least leave with something. And I'm not sitting here saying that like for people to be strippers and stuff, because if you guys look at my channel, you know that was one of my incomes. But like, so for certain people, they started the OnlyFans. Other people, YouTube. The money's not consistent, but the pay will always be consistent. You know that you're gonna make something, but you don't always know what the something will be. That's what I mean. So say for instance, you want to start in stocks, or you want to get you some CD accounts or a mutual fund, or you want to start, you know, stock exchange, like you want to start selling off a few of your stocks that aren't making that much money. Something where you know some type of extra money will be there every single month. That's what I mean by get multiple incomes, or get you another job, get you a side hustle, get you something that where you don't have to put as much strain on that main income, where you're taking every paycheck and basically throwing it into your savings. And then you're left looking like we're waiting on the next paycheck. Don't do that to yourself, you know, because with your other incomes, that can be just your saving income. Because that's kind of how it was for me. My regular paychecks was just my paychecks, and they were used to build my checkings, while my side hustles built my savings account. So do that. Don't ever be afraid to ask people about different ways to make money, like at-home jobs, a part-time job, or don't be afraid. Like, just don't do nothing illegal, you know? Also, if you're in a job right now that you feel like there's no way you can save money or not making enough money, stop being scared to look for a better job. Stop being scared to leave that job. Stop being scared to branch out. Get you a higher paying job. Get you, you know, better hours. Whatever the case may be, get you a job that's going to help you live a more free lifestyle. Stop being committed to these jobs that aren't committed to you. Just stop doing it to yourself. Okay, real quick. Also, this is a small little tip and trick for certain people who have a lack of self-control. I have 4 different types of savings account. I have my primary savings, I have my Christmas club savings, I have my secure savings, and I have a backup savings. Okay, and I also have an IRA, which is just like a retirement savings. That's by the government, but with my bank account. So we'll talk about that in another video. So basically, with these different savings, they all serve different purposes, and they all have different regulations through my bank. So with my primary savings, if I go to ATM right now, I can pull as much money as I want out that the ATM allow me. I can see my balance, I can put money in, all type of stuff. My Christmas club savings, if I go to any ATM, including my bank, I can see it, but I cannot remove any money. Now, if I go inside the bank and ask, can I get this, that, and the third, I can remove it, but it'll be a penalty. I will lose money from removing it, just like my IRA. Then I have my secure savings. I can go to, doesn't matter if I'm at my branch ATM, I cannot see that money at all on any ATM system because it is secured. It is there so that if anything happens to my bank account, a hacker gets in there, this is the one account that is untouchable. You cannot move any money, even on their app. I can't move any money out of that account unless I am physically standing in their building. Then I have my backup savings, which is just like my primary savings. It's just on my other account. It is there for me to put away the little bitty money, and it has its own small goal. That's just me. So everybody's not as aggressive and as obsessive about saving like I am, but I just want to be able to create a different type of lifestyle for me. That's why I save the way I save. So I have 2 checkings and 4 savings and an IRA and a couple other things we'll talk about in another video. But I'm very serious about being able to live a more financially free lifestyle by a certain age. That's why I have so many accounts. Now, when we're talking about savings, you can't do any of this without self-control. That's why I suggest everybody to get some type of secure savings where there may be penalties if you take money out before a certain date. I think that is good to always have, because sometimes we do lack a little bit of self-control. And then we also should just have a regular savings where in case of emergencies, you can always take that money out if you need to. But remember, self-control, self-control, self-control. Motivation. If you're doing this and you don't really have it in your heart, like, bro, I really want financial freedom and I really want to be able to get this, that, and the third by this age, or by this time, it's going to be real hard for you to be on the ball about certain things. Dedication, because there's going to be certain times where like financial stuff happens to you and you're going to want to take all that money out and just fix the problem right then and there. You can't always do that. And there's going to be times where you have to take that money out and fix a problem or get something paid for, or get, and that's happened to me. And it's going to suck, and you're going to be like, you know what, just bump it. I'll put whatever I can whenever I can, and you lose sight of the goal, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be dedicated even when like something life happens to you. You still have to be dedicated. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and talk about, that's not last thing. We're going to go ahead and talk to the dancers, any of the strippers or incoming strippers, goals for you guys. So this is just extra for any like entertainers, sex workers and stuff like that. This is what I said I was doing to help me save a lot faster. So save at least a minimum of $200 to $300 every single night when you come from the club. Now, if you don't make $200 or $300, this doesn't apply to you. But say you have like a $500, $600 night, and you know you're going back to the club the next day. Go ahead and put at least $200 or $300 aside to put in your savings account when you go to the bank. You know what I'm saying? And then the next night, the same thing. So if that turns into, I made $500 this night. I put 2 into my savings, 3 into my checkings. Well, 2 something, because you probably got to put your tip out back into the club, whatever. And then the next night you make $500 again. You do it all over. But this time, how about you choose $300 for the savings, $200 for the checkings. So now 5 and 5 whenever you go to the bank, and you just keep that going. Now for the big night, say for instance you make $2,000, you make sure you put at least a minimum of $1,000 in your savings. There's no reason why you should put a whole $2,000 into your checkings unless you got something humongous you're about to pay off, like, you know what I'm saying? Or if you have a $1,000 night, over 500 of that should go into your checkings. It should go into your savings. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but if you're making $1,000 that night, like, you shouldn't even be worried about the money, because you're gonna make enough to put into your checkings and not have to worry about what you just put in your savings. If you get what I'm saying. If you're financially literate, not illiterate, financially literate, you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So the money's gonna keep coming back. You're a dancer. Don't ever feel like, because I had $1,000 night, I'm like, this was just by pure luck, I'm not gonna have this again. You are gonna have it again, and even if you don't make $1,000, you still have opportunity to make at least 2 or 3 the next night. And we're gonna go back to the first step, which was only put a minimum of $200 or $300, so you don't have to be as aggressive with the slower nights. So that's for the girls who are dancing, who make an influx of money a night, which is not like paycheck to paycheck living. And the last tip before I get out of here, when you hit your first goal, so say your first, like I said, once you hit that first goal, my first goal was 1,000, go ahead, automatically make a new goal. Don't wait 2 or 3 months, don't wait a year, don't wait 2 days. As soon as you hit 1,000, you wipe that board off, you make a new thermometer, and you put new small goals into, and then the big goal at the top. So for instance, like right now, before I let you guys go, let me tell you how I kind of do it, because I'll be making a separate video about how I save money personally, for just like in general, not when I'm obsessively saving, because this is what you call, I think my phone had overheated because my screen just shut off. But basically, once I hit my $10,000 goal, I wiped that board off and I decided right then and there, okay, well, so what are we gonna make the new goal as? But I don't necessarily talk about my other savings accounts and checking account, like the goals, but those all have goals too. So even though you're working on your savings, also don't neglect your checking account or your secured savings account. Those also, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot when you're like meticulous about writing things down and keeping track of stuff and stuff like that. Like for me, for instance, my goal for my primary checking account was $10,000. I recently hit that, but I didn't maintain it, so it's still my goal. Now my other account, I'm trying to get that checking to stay at least $3,000 to $5,000. That I have hit that, but I didn't maintain that because I was using that as my stripper fund for just different things. And you guys know my phone has to be overheating because it just keeps turning off. I'm gonna give it a small break, but that was everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm sorry the video was so long and now I'm talking very fast because I'm scared my phone's gonna overheat again. But I love you guys, and like I always say, until next time, Jills and Gems. Oh, let me get this. Peace. Girl, I gotta get my hair together because it's doing what it want to do. Okay. This my shit. First of all, this light is very hot, and I'm probably gonna be sweating in a little bit. Let's start. Hold on. Got a lot of editing to do. First week of the month and the second week of the month, I'm saying it wrong.